our long division that we've been looking at for the past 2 days. And when we've gone through work together, when you've gone through your work and you've done your marking by yourselves, a lot of people have come to me and said, I've got this one wrong, but
I don't understand where I've gone wrong.
I don't understand why I've gone wrong or where I've gone wrong. Yeah? And that's then that process of checking your own work, that's where that's really vitally important. And you've done lots of peer work where you've checked each other's. I know you two have done, I've checked it, she's checked it, and we can't spot it. So today we're going to have a look at spotting some of those errors, yeah? The common things that go wrong when we do long division. So the learning objective is to identify common errors in long division calculations, and obviously we're using the chunking method. And I've just put a little note on there, it's your turn to be the teacher. Yeah, because it's tricky when you come to me or Mrs. Rampling or Mrs. Emery and you say, I got it wrong and I don't know why I've gone wrong, and then what do we have to do with that? How do we help you to spot where you've gone wrong? Cameron?
Do you try and like scan your work to see where
I can scan it, but I can't just automatically see those errors. Eve?
Do you work out the calculation that they've done to see if they've done anything wrong?
Yeah, so I could work it out myself again, couldn't I, separately? That's one way I could do it. And I can then go through each part of yours to spot where the errors were. So that's the next question I was going to ask is, how can we check? Right? How can we actually check it? Right? There's a couple of ways that we can check it. So I want you to talk to your partners and think about how can we check where the errors are. So there's 2 calculations on the board, there are errors in both of them. Right? But how can we actually go about checking what those errors are and where they are and then correcting them? So talk to your partner for a couple of seconds. How can we actually check? And I don't want to know, well, I said there's errors. There might be errors in one, not the other, it might be both. How can I check? What can I actually do? So I don't want you to identify an error, I want you to tell me what I could do. Isabel?
You could check the other times tables again to make sure.
So this part here. Yes, I could go through them again and make sure I've got them right. Great answer, yeah? That's definitely a good place to start. Neve?
You could do whatever answer you get times what you're times the number, what you're dividing the number by, and is it whole and in the inverse?
Inverse, that's the word, yeah? Well then, so we can do the inverse straight away to check whether it's right or not. Yeah? So the inverse, what's the inverse of division? George? Correct word? George?
Multiplication.
Multiplication, yeah? So if we try, so we'll do that first, 31 multiplied by 36, and see what the answer is, and if it matches that, then we know what?
It's the right answer.
That it's the right answer. So 6 times 1, NATO.
6.
6 times 3, Daniel.
Wait, no. I was looking at
6 threes.
18.
Oh, I need to put the 1 there. And then what? What's the next step with multiplication? CJ?
You have to cross out the 6 and move into another.
No. Abigail? Put the 0 down. Why do we bring that 0 down here? Why? Ben? As a placeholder, and because what? What are we actually multiplying by next? Ava? I'm multiplying by tens, yeah? So we have to hold that place in the units. So now we do 3 times 1, let's see.
3.
And 3 times 3, Abigail?
9.
9. And then what? Add them together. 6 add 0 is
6.
8 add 3,
11.
9 add 1 add 1.
11. Hold that from there.
So,
You're wrong.
is it correct then? No. Right? So 1,457 divided by 31 is not 36. So we know by doing that multiplication that it's incorrect. So what we then have to do is have a look at why is it incorrect. Who made the suggestion that the first thing we should do is check the multiplication? That was that group there. You all suggested check the multiplication. That's the first step then. I know it's wrong, so I'm going to check it. So I've got 1 times 31 is 31, is that right?
Yes.
10 times 31 is 310.
Yes.
Yes? So then I've doubled it.
Yes.
So I've got 62. So 2 lots of 31 is 62, 20 lots is 620. Then I've doubled the answer again.
No.
I have.
Yes.
Just stop. I've doubled 62, and double 62 is 124. Yeah, so I have doubled my answer.
Yeah.
Hobby.
Look at the whole calculation.
Right, so what have I not done there?
Yeah, I've doubled it.
Let's see.
Double the 2.
I've not doubled the number that I'm multiplying by. Yeah? So if I'm doubling my answer each time, I've not doubled that one. So that number, you're absolutely right, should be 4, which means this one should be 40. Now, does that affect this?
Yes.
Yeah, so what do I need to change here? Do I need to change any of the numbers I've actually subtracted?
No.
No, because those numbers are correct. What do I need to change? Violet.
You change the 30 in the brackets to a 4.
Right, I need to change that 30 to 40. Anything else? Leo.
No, you take and then you add 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1.
Ooh, who spotted something there,
Should
Tristan?
it be 3 times?
I would have to change that 3
Yeah, should be 4.
into a 4, and then Leo, what do I do? I add it all together. So 40 and 4, and 2,
46.
and 1,
47.
47. So we think the answer should be 47. Yeah? How do we check?
Do to check it?
How do I check it? Oscar.
47 times 31.
47 times 31. Let's try that. So 177, 1, 4.
4.
Next step.
Add 0.
We're not adding 0.
3 times
Yeah.
10 times.
And then 3 sevens.
21.
1, 3 fours.
12.
Plus 2. Add together.
1.
Are we now correct?
Yes.
Yes. So do you see the problem? Who's made that mistake before? Yeah, quite a few people. More than have admitted to it, I think. So that was the first error. Now, this time, I've got another calculation that I've done, and I've got the number's 3,312, so 48 times 68 is 3,312. Best way to check it? You're gonna
Do the inverse.
do the inverse, so let's check it. 68
8 times.
multiplied by 48,
No. 48.
8 eights,
The answer is
46, 64, 8 sixes, 48 plus 6, 54, bring your 0 down, 4 eights, 32, 4 sixes, plus 3, 27, add them together, 4, 6, 3, 2, 6, 4.
Is it right?
So it's not correct, but it's not far away. Yeah? So what has actually gone wrong here?
We'll check on.
Right, let's check the times tables. Is 1 times 48 48? Yes? Double it? 96? Double it to 192?
Yes.
And I've got the right numbers here?
Yes.
Have I done the right place value here?
Yes.
Yeah, so 480, 961,920.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all correct. So I've subtracted 1,920, 960, 192, 192, and 48. So I've only used those numbers. So where have I gone wrong?
Yes. Well done.
I've then added the numbers in the brackets. 40 and 20 is 60, add 4 is 64, and 4 is 68. So 68, I've added the numbers in the brackets. Shade.
You forgot to put one in your brackets.
I've forgotten to put one in my brackets. Who can see where? Right, which bracket have I forgotten, Isabel?
At the very bottom.
At the very bottom, I've
What's
forgotten
it going to be?
to put that one in.
No.
So if I then do 40 and 20 is 64, 68, 69. Now, here's a question. How can I check, how can I use this calculation to check whether that's right?
Have a look at it.
That's a real tricky question.
68 times
I could do
14.
69 times 48 and do the whole long multiplication again, but I could also
69 times
use
40.
that
Could you just do
to work it out, to double check it. How do you think I could do that?
What else
Nato?
could you do?
Add 48 to it.
I could add 48 to that number. Yeah? Because we know that that number is how many lots of 48? 68. So if we add one more on, so if we try that out, so 3, 2, 6, 4, add that one lot that I missed out, add 48, 8 and 4 is 12, 6 and 4 and 1, 11, 2 and 1, 3, 3, 1, 2.
Yeah.
And that was a quicker calculation than doing the long multiplication again. Well done, NATO. So, your challenge then is on your desk, you have 6 different calculations. Are they all incorrect? Not necessarily. Right? Your role now is to be the teacher. Okay? So you might need your red pen out to mark the work. You are going to work in pairs. Okay? Yeah. So in pairs, I would like you to have a look at the sheet and to do exactly what we've done together.
46 on the top.
I want you to go through the same process but as a pair and to see if you can spot the misconceptions, the errors
No, we're using red.
in those calculations.
Let's
if
have one
there
first.
are any.
Let's have one first.
Everyone understand what they're doing?
So what's the
Yes?
next thing you're going
Right,
to
okay,
check?
go.
Times table. If you're not
Right guys, just come back to me for a second. Can you write on the sheet? Of course you can. I want you to do any working out you need to do on the sheet. If you're checking little bits of it, go through and tick each part so that you can try and identify where the errors are.
Right, now, so how did you find it? Right, guys, Abigail found it. Yeah, what has she done? Which one is it? That. Yeah, so there's the error. So circle it. Well done. Can you see that map? Right, so now, what is the error? What do you need to do? Right, what should it be? What should the answer be? What do you think it should be? Right, well, cross that out. Now, what should it be, Jane? Well, so here, how many spotted? It's 20 times 40 and 24 is actually what number? 64, not 46. 64. What can you do to check that that is actually the right answer? No, you don't wait till you do it. How do you know? How are you going to check that that 64 is the right answer? What's the penalty? Right, so in verse 29 times 64, everybody do that. 29 times 64.
Come up with a really good question from this group here.
Right.
So one of the calculations has a remainder. Okay? And Poppy asked, how do we check it using multiplication when there's a remainder? So we've got an answer of, what's the calculation? 1715. Let me look this off now. We've got 1715 divided by 35 and an answer of 50 remainder 5. So how can I go about checking that using multiplication when I've got a remainder? Men.
Do you round it up?
Round it up. Then it will give me 51 and that's not the answer. Ben.
Do you put it into a decimal?
Check the answer. No.
NATO.
Would you times the remainder separately and you also times the other number?
Times the remainder separately? No, we said not a decimal. Well, what would it be? It's a decimal. It would be 50. What's the answer as a fraction? No.
What's the answer as a fraction?
Because as a fraction, the answer there would be 50 and 5 over 35. Now, if we simplify that, George, 1 7, so it would be 50 and 1 7. And 1 7 is not a straightforward one of those known decimals, so that's not going to help us. Any other ideas?
Forget the remainder. What do you normally do?
No? Do you get? No, we've just said no decimals.
Just imagine.
So we know that it's divided by 35, we've got 50 and there's 5 left over.
You're not watching.
Okay? I'll give you the answer. If I multiply to check it, I would do 35 multiplied by 50.
Yeah.
So that's the answer. Yeah? So I obviously have some zeros here.
Do with the remainder.
25, 5 3s are 15, 16,
Trying to
17.
make that whole number.
So 1750. Alright.
Why would you take it because it's there and that number somewhere?
Because it's counting.
Yeah.
Right.
But what would I have to do? So obviously it's wrong. Right? It's obviously wrong. Why? Well, how do you know? How do you know, without even considering the remainder, that that is not correct? Daniel?
The number is too high.
Yeah. That number is bigger than that one. Right? So we know straight away that it is incorrect. But if it was correct, how would I use that remainder? Now, I've got an answer of 1,750, but there were 5 left over. Then?
Well, if you do 5 times 35 and then put the answer as a mixed number,
Tristan?
do you put it into a fraction?
No. Much more straightforward than that.
What to do with the extra 5?
Plus 10.
Plus 5.
Just add it.
Yeah. You would just add it on. Yeah? Because that would be left over, so when you do the multiplication, you would just add that on. So the answer would be 1755, but we've already established that's way too big, so that calculation does have an error that you need to spot. Your job is to spot where the error is. Okay, but it was a good question about how do you check it in multiplication when there's a remainder. Right, here we go.
You've got to try and find simple amounts, isn't it? You do that calculation. What's the answer? You've got an answer. 29 times 64 more, doesn't it? Waiting for an answer. You all got it? Right, well, you have to do the two answers. Well, then answer together. 9 6 is the one. No, 9 6 is 4. You got an answer, right. Anybody else got an answer? Right, let's do it together. 9 4s are 2 4s are 2 4s. 2 4s are 8 plus 3. 11. Would you like this one? Because this is 10 times bigger, isn't it? My answer has to be potential. 6 9s are 84. 6 2s are plus 5 is 12 plus 5. 12 plus 5. Right. Have you got these as your answers? Here. You have these. Right, so that's together. 6, 5, 8, 1. Was that what you had to be able to divide them? So is 64 the correct answer? Yeah.
Right, guys. I've got this way.
It's this answer, so that's your first one.
Another then little point that's come off, so you seem to be really good at spotting these errors, so the hope is if you can spot them in my work, you're going to be better at spotting them in your own work. So the next step is then, actually you've done this wrong, this is where you've gone wrong, so my next question will be, what is the correct answer then? So there's another level for it. You're telling me I'm wrong, where I've gone wrong, so can you also tell me the right answer?
41. You've done that one. I know what it is. Oh, there's a one underneath, isn't there? So let's look at this one underneath. So yeah, you found an error? Right, there's a little one cheese there. So have you checked all this?
That would be 4.
Yeah, so what 40, 23, are these correct though? Right, that's an error. Are they correct? Change. Abigail, you think not? Well, how are we going to check? Right, so check your times tables. One, George, you check them. So 1 times 44 is 44, is that right? Yeah. 10 44s are 8. 2 48. So these are, so they're correct. Well, now we have the exact one there. Is this 40 times? Yes. Is this 20 times? Yes. 20 times. So, adding them up wrong. Right, so that's our error. Add them up. So what should this be? 84. Everybody do that in the red pen. Is the answer 84? Is according to this, have they done this calculation right? So what are we going to check? We're going to check 44 times. That's what we need to do next. Circle your error. Circle, yeah, actually 84, and then do your calculation. Come on then. 64 times 44 will do. Yeah. Why else, George, why have you writing 44 times 84? What? 44. Right, everybody do it. See if we get the same answer. 64 that is our first answer. Right, next one. Now with the tens combination. Let's have a look at this last one. You guys are right. 64 times 6. 32. The top line should be 336. Because one of them multiplied by 2. What should we multiply to check it? Times 2. Yeah. We all got 336. 3 something. 4 rings and 32. Which was 43.
You might need this.
696. We all got that? So, is that what we have to figure out? So, somewhere in this calculation, it is what we check there. So it's something to do with what? The subtraction, right? You have the subtraction. So we need to check through the subtraction all the way through. So, if we looked at the first one, 6 to equal 0, 11 to equal 6 is 5, 8 to equal 9. Now, so if we look at the very first one, 6 to equal 0 is 6, 1 to equal 0 because we exchange from the next column, so that A, that 9 becomes 8, yeah, 11 to equal 6 is 5, check yours. And the next column is 8 equaling 9. Can we do it? No. So then we have to exchange again for the next column. So it becomes 8 equaling 9. What is 8 equaling 9? 9. Right? 2 to equal 1 is 1. First that's right.
Can
So
you
6 to equal 0
finish
is
off
6.
the one that you're looking at?
Is
And then we'll
7.
come back together and we'll go through some of the answers
So
and see if you can explain to me where I've gone wrong. See if you can explain where I've gone wrong.
So, if we have to borrow one there, that becomes 9. 19 to 8 is 1. Alright? Yeah. 6 to 0 is 6. Everything is one column. So we need to, there's nothing in that column, so we need to add what's in that column.
Right guys, eyes on me. So, I'm not going to write them all up on the board because they're long calculations and you've got a copy in front of you, so you don't need to see them up there when you can see it on your desk. So I'm going to start with the calculations. You need to find the right sheet that says 1,856 divided by 29. You all got that ready?
Yeah.
Mrs. Ramblin, have you all done that one?
Yes, we have.
You have, so I'm going to come to you first, I think.
Right, guys.
Right, so, Mrs. Ramblin's group. Is that calculation correct or incorrect? Jay? Incorrect. So 1,856 divided by 29 is not 46. Okay? But, can you explain to me, I'm coming back to this group, can anyone explain the error that I made in that calculation? Abigail.
So you put you put 580 in the right bit, but then you put the 2 instead of the 20.
Excellent, well spotted. So Abigail's absolutely right. When I did the subtraction, I put 580, which is 20 lots of 29, but in the brackets, I only put a 2. Yeah, which meant that when I added the brackets, it added up incorrectly. Do you have a correct answer?
Yeah.
Then for me, Shay.
It's 64.
It's 64 because it should be a 20 in those brackets. Well done. So you can mark your marking. Does that make sense?
Right, as well, because you double check.
Mark your marking.
Yeah.
Right, so on the same page here we've got 3916 divided by 44. So, what's gone on here? Is it correct or incorrect, Cameron?
It's incorrect.
It's incorrect. Can you explain how it's incorrect?
Yeah, because when you're multiplying 40 and 4, you put 196 on 4 times 44, but it's 170.
88 and 88.
And then you add it.
Ah, so that's 88 and 88 is 176, yes.
And then put 40 you're
So incorrect. And then, what else have I done? There's 2 errors in that one.
Okay. So what was the
2 errors.
What was the error we spotted?
So yes, you're right, I've done the doubling wrong, but there's also another error. CJ,
You forgot to add the another 2.
right, so I haven't added the brackets correctly, yeah? So I've only added 3 of them and not all 4. Excellent. So has anyone got a correct answer there? George K.
89.
89, well
That
done.
wasn't right.
Right, let's move across here. So, Oscar's table. We're going to move to the sheet that says for 828 divided by 23.
That's the right answer.
Did you get up to that one on that table?
No.
No, Lexi's table. You did?
Yeah, but
What it
you
was,
got it wrong.
it's there.
Lexi's table then. 828 divided by 23. Is it correct or incorrect? Incorrect. Guys, we need to listen. Why?
Because the times table, 4 times 23 is not 82, it's 92.
Right, so I've not doubled correctly again.
And 40 times 23 would be 920.
Not
So-
820. Right, so you're absolutely right. I've not doubled correctly, but have you then got a correct answer for me?
Yeah, 36.
36 indeed. Well done. So on the same page, 1292 divided by 34. Is it correct or incorrect? Correct or incorrect? Laura, incorrect?
Yeah.
Can you tell me why?
Because you added it right when you put 3 instead of 4. You doubled it right when you put 3 instead of 4.
Thank you. So I've used, when I was doing the doubling, like here, like on the other one, when I've doubled my answer, I've put 3, not 4. And then of course when I've subtracted it, it means the numbers in the brackets are wrong. Have you got a correct answer for me?
38.
38 indeed. And then the final sheet. 1107 divided by 27. Need.
What's your next sheet?
Is it? It was correct. It was the only one out of the set that was correct. Yeah? Minute. Off you. Jumping ahead to the next one. Right, so 1715 divided by 35 is obviously incorrect. What is the mistake that's been made, Minute?
It's not the multiplication or the brackets. It's happened when you've done 315 take away 140 because you haven't carried over. You've done 1 take away 4 instead of carrying it 1 over from the 3 and making it 11 take away 4.
Right. So what have I actually done? You're absolutely right. That's the part of the subtraction there. But what have I actually done? If you look at my answer, underneath that, what have I actually done? George?
When you do 13 take away 4, what you do?
No, it's not 13 take away 4. I've written 1 take away 4 equals 3.
Done it by sheet.
Got it? I've done 4 takeaway 1. Yeah, I've done 4 takeaway 1 instead of 1 takeaway 4, which meant that I would need to not carry but borrow, steal, whatever else, other words we use.
And then that's leaves you, left your hundreds wrong too.
Which has left the rest of the calculation wrong. Excellent. Have we got a correct answer there? Nato? 49. Well done. So, you seem to be pros at spotting errors. So when you come to do it in your own work, you should be even better at spotting if you've made any mistakes. And we all make mistakes, it happens. Obviously my mistakes here were deliberate. I can do the chunking method for division. I made the mistakes deliberately to see if you could spot them. However, there was one that was a genuine mistake. There was a genuine mistake that you've picked up on and I didn't spot when I was working them out.
Was it the one where you had 2 mistakes?
It was the one with 2 mistakes and I only meant to make 1 mistake and I made 2, so one of them was actually a genuine mistake. So we're all human and we do all make mistakes. It was the one... It was 3,916 divided by 44. My deliberate mistake was the incorrect adding up of the brackets. My accidental mistake was the doubling. Yeah? So that was an accidental mistake. So we all make mistakes, and which is why it's really important to check. So I hope that moving forward, when we do some more of this, because we're going to now do more, but apply it to different situations, that you will be able to go back and check, and then when you do peer marking, you can help spot errors in other people's work. So just put the sheets neatly in front of you, and we're going to move on.
Still produce kitten references for a minute.
Right, so I pose this problem to you. We're going to use our knowledge and experience with long division to put it to some problem solving, some reasoning. Now, this next part of the lesson does have a different learning objective, but I'm not going to share that with you just yet, but I'm not sharing it for a reason. And you'll see why. So, next question. There are 16 crayons in a packet. How many packets would you need to buy to get 400 crayons? You can't work that out in your head. Just yet. What calculation am I going to need to do? What's the calculation? I've given you a big hint in saying that we're continuing with division.
Yes. Well
But
done.
what is the actual calculation? CJ? Right, so what's the actual calculation? So it is division, that's the operation we're using, but what's the actual calculation? Georgie?
16 divided by 400.
Oh,
Think about it.
think carefully. If I've got 16 crayons and I need to split them into groups of 400, I'm going to struggle.
I need 400. I want to put them into groups.
Shade.
400 divided by 16.
400 divided by 16. So we go about it
Each packet's got
in exactly the
16.
same way.
How many of those do I need to make 400?
Right, exactly the same way. We do our multiplications down the side. 1 times 16 is 16. So 10 times 16 is 60. If I double 16,
Equals 32.
32. So then 20 lots is 320. Oh, 320. Have I got a suitable chunk that I can take away? Yeah, 320.
20. Or 20 times, right?
Which is how many times?
320.
20, so I need to remember to put that in brackets. So 0 take away 0.
0.
I can't do that. I'm not going to make the same error I made on that sheet. 10 take away 2. I've got 80 left.
0.
What would you use next?
I could do 4 times, yeah?
16.
So 4 lots of 16 would be 64. So I'm going to subtract that. 4 lots. So 0 take away 4. Can't do. 10 take away 4. 7 take away 6. I've got 16 left. And And
Yeah.
I've got one left.
Need to.
I'm not sure why we've got one, why I've got none left. I've done something wrong somewhere. So how many were 20, 40, 24, 25? So how many packets do I need to buy to get 16 crayons?
It's on the board. How many packets?
25?
Yes.
Yeah?
Check that.
We're happy with that? Yeah? Let's change it then.
Yeah.
Let's change it. This time, crayons come in packets of 18. Okay? And I need to get 400. Yeah? So again, 400 divided by 18. 10 times 18 is 90. 2, what's double 18? 36.
Yeah. 2 tens and 2 8s together. And multiply.
Right.
Two.
Super little chunk, yeah, 360, which is
How many lots?
20 lots.
18 is that?
10 to 4, so I've got 40.
Others?
I can do another 36.
20 lots of 18, isn't it?
I've got to put in brackets. So this time my answer is 22 remainder 4. Yes, 22 remainder 4. So, in answer to that question then, 18 crayons in a packet, how many packets do I need to buy to get 400 crayons?
So,
22, right? So, we've got an answer of 22, so I need 400 crayons for a task I'm doing. Right? If I then do, so the coming back to 18, 22 times 18,
so how many boxes do you
2
need?
times 8, 2 times 8, plus 1,
Yes?
1 times 2, 1 times 2.
Before, but you wouldn't have got 400, used 400 crayons, would you? You have to spare, that's fine.
Right, so if I buy 22 packets of crayons,
Have I got to 400?
I'm only going to get 396, but I need 400. Gonna. I don't have to add them together. Ben, I would have to buy 23 packets of crayons. So what am I actually doing here? If I'm saying I need 23, so the answer is 22 remainder 4, but I'm saying the answer is actually 23. What have I actually done, Laura? Right, so what have I done by saying 23? I'll give you a clue, begins with an R. George, I've had to round my answer to be in accordance with the question.
Yeah.
Yes? But what's, I'm not rounding it, looking at the remainder.
400, have you?
I'm looking at that whole number. 22 packets of 18 crayons is not going to get me 400. So I'm going to have to buy 23 packets, right? Which will give
You're
me,
just going to have some left over, but
so
that's
23, I don't need to do that, what can I do? 396 at 18. 8 out of 6 is 14. 11, 4. So, I'm going to buy 23 packets. How many crayons am I going to have? 414. How many do I need? 400. So, what's going to happen then? Abigail? I'm going to have some left over. How many am I going to have left over? 14. But is it better to have more than not enough? Absolutely.
somebody's going to be
Absolutely.
a bit annoyed they haven't got any.
So, if we then do it the other way, let's hope this one works, seeing as I really didn't work the first one out very well. Alright, so this time, when we're looking really at the wording of the question,
Really important.
so this time we've got crayons, and there are 24 crayons in a packet.
What it's asking.
How many packets could I make if I have 400 crayons? So what's the calculation I need to do? Lexi?
400 divided by 24.
Divided by 24. Again,
So it's 1 times 24, 24.
10 times
10
24.
times is 10.
40. What's going to happen if I double that? It's going to make it too big. So 240 is a good suitable chunk to take away.
10 lots,
0. 10 take away 4.
6.
3 take away 2.
1.
Got 160 left.
Take away.
So that could go to 2 times 24, which is, and then 4 times
96.
96 is a suitable chunk, which is 4 lots. 0 take away 6 I can't do. 10 take away 6.
4.
15 take away 9.
6.
6. 64 there. What can I take away?
48.
48, which is how many lots?
2.
Can't do it. 14 take away 6. 5 take away 4.
1.
Right, so what is my actual answer? Not the answer to the question, the answer to the calculation.
So,
The answer to the calculation.
question asked.
Tristan. Right. 10 and 4 is 14 and 2 is 16. 16 remains the 16. Yeah. Is the actual answer. But the question says there are 24 crayons in a packet. How many packets can be made from 400 crayons? Many.
16 packets.
16 packets. Yeah?
How many packets can
Because
you
I
make?
can't make 17 packets because
Yeah.
there's 17 is not the answer. 17 will be too
Slightly different question.
more than
isn't it?
400. So I can make 16 full packets of crayons, but
You'll have 16 left.
I'll have 16 crayons left over.
Yeah.
So you can see the questions are very similar, yeah? But actually, you've got to really think about what's that question asking me, and do I need to then round my answer up or down? Yeah? And that's the tricky part. So the reason I didn't share the learning objective in the first place is you would have then known that we were looking at rounding. Oh, not that one. There. Right, so the next part, and you're going to do this work independently, is to determine whether to round up or down after division. Okay? And we're going to use the textbooks for this. We're going to use page 25 in the textbooks. And I don't want anyone to do section A. Okay? Because section A is short division. And we're focusing on long division at the moment. Okay? So we're focusing on long division, so I want you to either choose to do section B or section C, depending on how comfortable you are with doing this. Yeah? Does everyone understand what we're going to do? Yeah? You really need to read the question carefully.
Start with these, start with
Okay?
these, and then
Right.
see how you get on.
Off you go.
Yeah, after the bit.